is to clear this YouTube of evil spirits. I have no idea why I'm doing the impersonation for no viewers. Hello, people watching the replay. Anyways, as you can see, I'm dressed up as Russell Brand. Please don't cancel me. Let me move this microphone a little bit closer. Is this obstructive? Is this too much in the way? It feels like this is obstructive. Look at all this black tape. What am I, the BTK? Jesus. Let me get this. Is that too much? Is this too much? That feels like it's too much. Oh boy, Don's dressed as Tangina and he's on one. Anyways, we're gonna watch Poltergeist. Had a crazy few weeks, so haven't been on in 2 weeks. People have been like, "Where you been? Missing your streams, man." Really, one person said that, but that one person is all that matters. By golly, how the hell did I get no viewers and one like? I swear, creepy shit. Halloween, man. Halloween, bro. Anyways, I'm gonna watch Poltergeist tonight. I mean, hello, person new to the stream. I apologize. You didn't hear. Oh, it's Sean Blue Digital. He called me Hawaiian Don. Exactly. I look like Jason Momoa's fat brother. No, I'm trying to cleanse my YouTube channel of all the evil spirits as I watch Poltergeist 1982, directed by Tobe Hooper, although some argue that it is actually directed by Stephen Spielberg. But that's a whole other can of worms we'll get into in a few minutes here as I watch this fine film. But I gotta take a break from that voice every now and then. It's hard on me. But yeah, I do look like the big kahuna. So shaka brah. Out of all my outfits that I just keep laying around, it's hard to believe I don't have a little person medium. There's a joke there somewhere. I'm not making it. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna watch Poltergeist. This is my favorite haunted house movie. It's in probably my top 50 horror movies of all time. Hit me in that sweet spot when I was a little kid, you know, and when it's just the right age where it'll bother you and shit. Um, Actually, Sean, while you're here, is the audio okay? Is it I assume you're all right, otherwise there would be a bunch of question marks. I can't hear you, bro. Let me what you like. There we go, make sure. Although YouTube's camera is shaky at best, but there we go. Ooh, once again, perfect. Or perfect, not perfect. Let's see. There's always the audio setup up front. So as I was saying, I'm gonna watch Poltergeist. I saw this first when, well, we'll get into that here in a few minutes when I start this up. What time is it actually? The film itself is on HBO Max or Max. I did it again. Damn it! I'd been saying Max for like the last month or two, and then just now I slipped. I fell off the wagon. Hey, man, and lady on the pad. Man, how dare you? I need to cleanse you of evil spirits. This stream is blessed. Uh, I don't have an outfit like Carol Ann around. What does she wear? Like a little girl's nightgown? That'd be weird as hell. And I suppose I could dress like the clown. I could dress like the tree out front. That's pretty on brand for me. Speaking of brand, just because I look like Russell Brand, please don't cancel me. Right, let me tell you about the Illuminati, right, mate? They're everywhere. The lizard people, you don't even know. I went to Arby's, I heard a beef and chatter. There's freaking. Oh, hi, man. It's. I'm wearing. I'm wearing a Stan Lee sweatshirt. But I don't own a muumuu, right? Like the Tangina wears like a flowery muumuu kind of thing. Like Sean called me a Hawaiian guy, and I don't own anything like that, unfortunately. So I had to kind of go with the closest to a flowery thing I had. And I don't own any old lady jewelry. Shockingly, I had these glasses though. These are from my grandma, I think. I don't know where I picked these up. I might have robbed Jackie Onassis sometime. um, IKR. I don't know what that means. Oh, I know, right? Got me. Look at that. I'm learning. You can watch Don process. Watch Don process. I mean, watch Don process as I cleanse this YouTube channel of all the evil spirits. Haven't been on in about 2 weeks. Had a bunch of life shit, life be lifing. But now I have exorcised most of those demons, and I should be able to move forward with my overall mediumness, or whatever the hell I'm supposed to say there. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna watch Poltergeist. I'm gonna drink some beer because clearly I need beer, right? Um, I got some Munster Fest. Look at that, huh? You guys ever had kaiju beer? I'm about to drink kaiju beer. All right. So, as I was saying, Poltergeist is on Max. May, I know you have Max. Otherwise, Sean, you probably got like 5 copies of it, like 4K, 8K, Steelbook, Titanium book, all the books. What I need to do is open up the other channel or the chat before I get going. That would be helpful. No, that's not going to work. Why are you? Come on, mouse. Play along, mouse. All right, there we go. Live channel. There's new. Well, yeah, that no thumbnail is brutal. Wow, the audio came on for a second. We're up to this minute. We're like 2 or 3 seconds. There's usually like a 15, between a 6 to 15 second lag. But this is like, Nate. What a good time to get my chat up and running when seeing Nate. Nate's a blessing. When there are evil spirits in your chat, I recommend you have Nate, perhaps Lady J. Ghoul, most certainly Mayanne. Have them come to your chat and bless it and cleanse that chat and get rid of it from the evil spirits. I don't know. Does Tangina have kind of a southern accent? It feels like she has a southern accent. Anyways, but Nate, thank you for coming. We got Sean Blue Digital. Yeah, I don't know, a 4th person who's hanging out. I always like when the 4th person hangs out. The lurker is always fun. Patrick, have Cheeto will view, calls the lurker Caspering a chat. Like he likes to hang out and watch a stream and just sort of stay in the back. I know Mikey's Morgue one time. It's Lady J. Ghoul. I should have friggin'. Oh, wow. Look at her popping up. How are you? I just mentioned you're a blessing. Lady J. Ghoul, you have come to cleanse this stream of evil spirits before I watch Poltergeist. And if any of y'all, look at people coming in. It's nice. I don't know how long I can do that voice for, but as y'all understand, Anthony Chabot, the world's greatest YouTuber on the road to 1,000. He's currently got 977. So go ahead and 23 of y'all drop by tonight. Go visit Anthony Chabot. Let's get him past 1K. Let's cleanse his stream and channel of evil spirits. Let's see who else we got here. Just Lady J. All right, cool. That's what I'm talking about. We can get started in a minute. I'm gonna fall into this voice the whole night. Like it's gonna drive me nuts. People are gonna be like, "Why is that big surfer guy talking like a lady?" That's what I was looking for. Man, just hit 300 days. She's in shock. You shouldn't be in shock, dude. People are falling in love with you. Folks who I know didn't know you before this contest are like, Mayanne's awesome. I'm like, I know, right? IKR. But May, congratulations is what my stupid ass meant to say. I got a lot going on in the old head. I got a wig. I got things. But that's awesome. That makes me happy. The whole thing with the YouTuber of the month is it doesn't really matter who wins. We just want people to pay attention to you. So my thing was just like find 4 folks who I really like and get attention for them, and people who I know are good. So whoever wins can then give attention to somebody else. Pay it forward, pay it forward, pay it forward. So when I put you on the horror YouTuber of the month thing, I was like, oh, Mayanne's perfect because everybody loves her. And sure enough, it's been an outpouring of love. You're like a little kid with a sickness in a movie. People are like, we love Mayanne. I'm like, I know, right? Thank you, Pab Master. I needed to cleanse my channel of the evil spirits. Um, but anyways, once again, Poltergeist is on Max. This is one of my favorite horror movies. I can't believe I didn't get the DVD out before all this. That's usually one of the things I have handy so I could play it, but I'm not going to get up and show you guys my butt. I got shorts on. It's weird. Um, Anthony Chabot, thank you. Your channel has now been blessed, cleansed of evil spirits. Oh man, everybody group hug. All right, group hug. Anyways, the whole point of where I was going, I always get derailed and then I get back on track. All right, it's 5 minutes until 12:30. What do you think? A 12:30 start for one ticket for a 12:30 showing of Poltergeist, please? That sounds great. I'll sit around and BS with you guys for a few minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get Poltergeist started. The people in watching the replay, as per usual, I go in and put chapters in so you can skip over everybody coming in and hanging out and telling each other how much we love each other. So keep an eye out for that little chapter dealy. Other than that, yeah, no, it's nice to be back on. Friggin' Professor Macabro. This guy, I gotta give him a big hug. What he did is he at the very end of my YouTuber of the month for October when I won. For that, at the very end, I kill myself. Well, Jason kills me. So Macabro is like love that part. That's his favorite part, which I don't blame him. I'm sick and twisted too. So he put on Instagram and YouTube. Has anybody seen Don? He's been missing. But I've been putting up like a buttload of content. I've put up like 7 or 8 shorts and 2 or 3 new videos since then. And I don't know, 3 different people have contacted me like, hey, you okay? So Macabro, trying to get me followers and love, had a bunch of people worried about me. So it's kind of hilarious. This house is cleansed. That is right, Lady J. So I had folks, I guess, worried about me, or some folks, even poor Russell Collier, Russell Collier asked me, you okay, man? And I was like, yeah, I believe so. So I'm glad I can be back on. I'm going to have some stuff going on over the next little bit. So there may be a week or 2 off after Halloween where I'm not around, or where I'm just getting situated with different internet and stuff. But other than that, no, I ain't going nowhere. I like YouTube. It relaxes me. There he is, Russell. Thank you, sir. I just mentioned you, Russell, 2 seconds ago, so it was nothing bad. Nah. But yeah, it's nice to have y'all come here as usual. These are the folks I like. Anthony, you might win YouTube of the month. I hope you do win YouTube Entertainer. Don't start with the mouth, Don. I hope you do win YouTube Entertainer of the Month, Anthony. I like your stuff. Sometimes I see a new video of yours and I'm like, hell yeah, new Chabot's dropping. So yeah, we'll like I say, if anybody wants to watch this, it's on Max or lots of various forms of home media, or I don't know. I'm sure there's probably somewhere else you rent it on Amazon or something. I get a sloppy hand heart. I get a sloppy hand heart. You get a sloppy hand heart. That's a new one. That's a cross genre nobody was expecting. The Tangina from Poltergeist, Rob Zombie, Don Zombie, Sloppy Heart mashup. Big DJ Screw up in this bitch. Every day I yell Anthony out. Hell yeah, Pap Master. You know. Anyways, so we're at 12:29, so I'm gonna start and see what we go through. We probably got a commercial or something. Max is interesting nowadays for those of you who have Max. Did you know, like, now the live sports that are on TBS and TNT are now streaming directly through Max? Like, I was watching some of the baseball game on there. You don't have to pay nothing extra for them. So that was one of my issues I had before. A bunch of my live sports, when I got rid of cable, were gone because I didn't have TBS or TNT anymore. But now it's just free streaming through Max. That's kind of awesome, dude. Like, a bunch of my basketball games in the fall will be free. Like, cool. I don't have to pay Sling or whoever. All right, so Poltergeist has started. What a simple movie. Just immediate black background with white letters. Um, and then we open with the okay, good. I do have captions on. Right on. So I'm settled. I got a beer. I got some brownies down here. I had a multivitamin earlier. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna just drink some of this fancy ass kaiju beer. I don't know. Three Floyds holler at me. I'm giving you hella publicity, dog. Send me a case. Um, yeah, everybody's in the chat. See, I like this. My people are like back together. I missed being on for a little bit. I had life. Um, so yeah, this is back when TV used to go off at the end of the night. This is what happened when I was a little kid. I remember it. So that's one of the reasons this movie hits me. Like the little girl up and the parents are sleeping, and she's up by this crackling TV as it goes off at usually 4 in the morning was often the time. Some channels would go off at like 3, depending on your time zone or how big the channel was or whatever. Russell's kicking it as usual. That's my guy. Thank you, Pat. Pat pointed out I was officially calling it Max. Marcus Morg, thank you for coming to this stream and blessing it with your presence. We need as much cleansing as possible. I thank you. Cheers. Mikey's my favorite laugher. Like when Mikey starts doing a review and he gets to something that sounds kind of ridiculous and he breaks character, just starts laughing at how silly something sounds. It's my favorite. Like his voiceover where he cracks up is just. Thank you, Mikey. I appreciate it. I kind of look like Jason Momoa's high older brother, but I'm working on it. So yeah, here's the little girl up at night. All the parents are sleeping. She's walking by the crackling TV. All this hits hard. This is the feels, dog. No, Russell, I actually prefer the other, but where I'm at, it's not. You're not allowed to have the other. So I got to keep it on the down low, and the multivitamins are always a good way to just chill out without drawing a lot of attention. So here's Carol Ann. I forget old girl's name. Um, she's most known as part of the haunted ghost story behind this whole movie. That's one of the reasons this is a good Halloween flick. There's all this supposed haunting of the characters and the curse of Poltergeist or whatever. There's the sister who has a curse on her. Um, the little girl, she passes away in the middle of Poltergeist 3. There's still question of what exactly she died from. A lot of kooks instead say it's, from this movie, whatever. But they think she had some sort of intestinal disorder. As I recall, her family moved to a farm, like they took their poltergeist money and moved to a fancy farm out in the middle of nowhere. And the well water, they think maybe had like parasites that gave her like a lower intestine, something or other. So she died in the middle of filming Poltergeist 3, and they had to use a bunch of stunt doubles and body doubles. And it's kind of almost comical at certain points. I mean, it's sad. A freaking little girl died, and you don't want to be laughing, but it's crazy when you see somebody walk over and pick up what appears to be like an 8-year-old wearing a mask, but you can't see their face. And then you see them run away with a doll, like a Megan looking doll. Um, but in this one, Carol Ann kills it. This is one of my favorite child acting roles. She's childish. Heather O'Rourke, that's her name. I've got a lot on my mind, mainly a wig and whatever. Tom Skerritt was a pallbearer at her funeral. Mikey bringing the heat with the knowledge. Woo. Um. Anyways, yeah. So also, the sister is involved in it. We'll talk about her when her stuff comes up. But yeah, Heather O'Rourke, that's a whole sad story, but she kills it in this. She's really good in Poltergeist 2. This is one of the few movies where the trilogy actually all unnerve me. Like they're scary. I saw this one at just the right age, at 82 or whatever. I was a little kid. I was probably Heather O'Rourke's age, um, maybe even younger. Um, uh, the first time I saw it, holy shit, a good ass memory. Directed by Tobe Hooper. We'll talk about that in a minute too. Um, the first time I saw this, my parents around this time had the 1970s shaggin' wagon, like the A Team van, like so it had the regular seats and then some kind of swivelly captain seats where the back seats would be. And then in the very back, there's like a single bed, right? So, like in the 70s, real cool people would get like, airbrushed Conan the Barbarian out of, you know, what's his name, Frank Frazetta or whatever. They like his pictures painted on the side of their vans and shit. So it was that kind of van, a shaggin' wagon, right? So my cool ass parents, they were some 70s stoners. And they go backing into the drive-in, open up that back door, and I just got to lay on the little tiny bed and play with my G.I. Joe guys while I watched this. And whatever the damn first movie was, this was the second of a double feature. All drive-ins were a double feature. I can't remember what the first movie was. It was irrelevant because it rained during the first movie, and we debated should we leave or not, and we kind of checked the radio for the weather, and they were like, "No, the rain's going to stop," and sure enough, it did. But because it was the summer and the rain hit, steam and fog rolled in. So like all the cars kind of disappeared under fog. And I was just laying there as a little kid in this old hippie ass bed, the shaggin' wagon, staring out among this sea of fog, watching the Poltergeist up on the big drive-in screen. Like that's living the movie life, bruh. So this movie's always got like this special nostalgia. This stuff with the tree scared the friggin' shit out of me at a damn drive-in, especially. Jamie Hart's here. Jamie, I apologize. I was talking. I didn't see you came in. Thank you for cleansing my chat with your presence. Um, I hopefully didn't miss anybody else as I was pontificating about 70s sex vans. um, so, as you can see, Jamie, I'm the big kahuna. Shaka, brah. Um, Pap like my story. Thank you, brother. Yeah, so this is a special movie. This is classic. This movie has so many bits of business that I love. Like we get introduced to the family up front, and it's fun. We see the dad's having his buddies over for the football game, and like the little girl's kind of weird, and the teenage daughter's dating age, and the dad's got to worry about that. Like we feel like this is a family we know, and then the shit hits the fan. Jamie Hart was thinking Sonny Bono. That works too. Um, I look like the guy in row 7, section 6 of a Dead and Company concert. Um, you had to change devices at timestamp. Where am I? You are awesome, AJ. Wherever. We are at 10:09. Right? HBO Max makes it hard because they just show the countdown clock at the end. So I see there's an hour and 45 left. So you can probably find it that way. Scroll till you see there's an hour 45 left at the end. You saw Halloween and Jaws at the drive-in. Those are two awesome ones. I never saw Jaws at the drive-in. I saw Empire Strikes Back at the drive-in. I saw Strange Memories. I like remember all the movies I saw in theaters or drive-ins, or because they're always special events to me. My movies are at home, right? I saw All the Marbles with Peter Falk. It's like a ladies' professional wrestling movie, and it was part of some double feature. But for some reason, I remember that because as a child, I was like, "What in the fuck is this movie about?" It was like a Sting con game movie. It was way over a child's head, but I like Peter Falk. Even as a child, I was like, Peter Falk's cool. Excuse me, I got one more question. Yeah, there we go. Jamie Hart saw Jaws in the drive-in when she was 3. That's fantastic. Mikey's Morg says his uncle by marriage looked just like Sonny Bono. Is that a banana clip in your? No, it is a one of those like utility clips, like I used to hang up the green screen. This is the same Don Zombie wig. So I got two wigs. I got a black wig and I got a brown wig. So all these costumes are based around. I got no blonde characters. So if somebody wants to go on Amazon or wants to go into my Venmo or PayPal, you go ahead and send me a blonde wig. We'll get Marilyn Monroe up in this bitch. But until then, we're gonna deal with all dark hairs. Yeah. Yeah, once again, more family stuff. We meet their dog. We see the bird died. We bury the bird in the backyard with the little girl. We see how she deals with grief. All character building. So I give a crap about these people. So when something bad happens, I'm like, no, not them. I like the little girl. I don't want the little girl to get kidnapped by the TV. Oh, man's got to go to bed. Oh, you sweet thing. I love you. Thank you for coming by. I don't know what I'm going to do without you to sheriff and moderate. You know how much I love when you crack skulls. But you get some sleep, champ. Assassin Stallone and Drive-In, Three Amigos, Jason Goes to Hell and Drive-In, and so on. I saw, see, that's the kind of the cheat of the Poltergeist story. I saw Blair Witch the second time at the drive-in, and the new Godzilla, the whatever, the MonsterVerse Godzilla, the ones they made. I saw that at the drive-in, and that same damn rain before the first movie that caused fog story came through. Except for Godzilla, the entire damn movie was ruined by the fog. It didn't sit at the right level. It made it so, and that movie's dark as hell. You can't see anything anyways. The movie itself is just super out of focus. Here's the scary tree. This movie means business when a tree can make you uncomfortable. The clown makes sense. All clowns are uncomfortable, but a tree? Give me a break. Oh, Jamie Hart says she's going to crack skulls. Thank you. I appreciate it. So everybody's wishing Mayanne a good night. You're awesome, May. We love you. And Lady J Ghoul, so she's ready to crack skulls too. So I got a posse of killers for Halloween. The mom and the little girl, and now they got goldfish because it's less trouble to flush than the bird. You're at the part where the couple is getting high. I think I'm just getting ready to get there, Russell. I'm at the part where they're tucking in the kids. Um, all this stuff, the Star Wars marketing, the bed sheets and all that. I had a bunch of it, but apparently this was all Spielberg got it on, from his buddy Lucas, because most movies weren't allowed to have a bunch of this Darth Vader stuff. It shows up in E.T. too. This is fantastic. The closet. When you're a little kid, the idea of just what could be in that closet is a scary idea. It's, uh, Schrodinger's cat. I looked in there. There's nothing in there. How do I know nothing's in there now? Saw Return of the Living Dead in the theater. That's an awesome one. I didn't see that. I didn't see Return of the Living Dead till cable because it looked cheap. It sounded dumb. Like when I saw the VHS box for the first time as a kid, I was like, that sounds stupid. Return of the Living Dead, cheap. Okay, Russell, now I'm to the part where the parents are smoking. Even this is great character building. You see, like, yeah, they're chill, they're upstanding business people. They can afford a home, they got their life in order, everything's cool. But at the end of the night, they're gonna roll a joint and fool around and, hop on the bed and be cute together. It's like, I like that. That's nice. But yes, now I love Return of the Living Dead to wrap up that whole story. That was one after I found on cable. I was like, ooh, this is good. Yeah, the before after bit. I love that. Before, after, before, after. Craig Nelson's an interesting character. Like he's kind of the prototype Ed Harris. Like he's, a balding, average, dad bod, normal dude, but he also seems believable. Like if he was I'm gonna go kick somebody's ass. Like, oh, Craig T. Nelson's mad. Like he looks, he's believable as he seems worthy. Like I don't feel like he's just some pudding cup getting pushed around this whole movie. Like when dad tries to fight back, he's trying. Mikey goes back and forth between whether Return of the Living Dead and Lucio Fulci's Zombie are his favorite zombie movies. I'm probably still a classic Dawn of the Dead. I don't know. I might even be classic Night of the Living Dead for my most famous, just because every time I feel it, there's just such a vibe to it, that black and white. And it's been bastardized with so many versions. It depends what version you see with Night of the Living Dead. The mom's kind of chilling and fun. She's classic. What I've been talking about since The Flash, the Mary Jane or Mary Sue mom. Like these movies know, make the mom perfect. Like, she shouldn't be irrationally yelling and angry. Like she should be caring and loving. If anybody in this movie should have the least amount of flaws, it's always the mom character. We should like her. Craig T. Nelson had with Joe Beth Williams as wife. Yeah, Joe Beth. Oh, Jamie, yeah, for sure. Sub to Mikey. Mikey's a good one. And Mikey's cool too. He hangs out and chats and he's always friendly and he's a good supportive member of the community. This this clown. I My mom, when I was a kid, and this happens, I understand. Now, for there was a while where I was kind of like, what the hell kind of thing is this? My mom used to collect clowns. So my entire life as a child, I had clowns. There was like a curio cabinet of clowns, and there'd be like stuffed animals of like a clown sitting there. So a thing like this was all over the crib. Like in her stuff, like I was going through some of her stuff in storage, and I found like clowns, like a box of clowns. It felt like an Annabelle movie or some shit. Um, so yeah, if you ever wonder why Don's a little off, it's like, yeah, there was a bunch of clowns in the living room when I was a little kid. So, ooh. Yeah, the parents are being cute, wrestling around. The mom is doing a fantastic job of not dropping the cherry of that joint onto her bed. Like she's getting tickled. You know what I mean? That is good. I don't know, balance, gyroscoping, gyroscoping. That's definitely the word. That is. Pap said he had to take a screenshot of me. That is quite all right. Make sure you include the voice, otherwise, out of context, this is all extra, extra weird. I had that same Darth Vader Star Wars carrying case, like in the back corner over his bed. You can see this plastic Darth Vader. You open that up and store your figures in there. I had that same one. That was one, and like you could buy it resold at rummage sales everywhere. So like I would get hand me down Darth Vader carrying cases like infinity, but I would just throw them away because they were stupid after a while. I was like, I'm so sick of these dumb things. Now it's like, oh, if I would have had all 7 of those damn Darth Vader GI Joe like action figure carrying cases, they're great. You moved the tombstones but left the bodies. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like there was this guy on Twitter who had a real successful Twitter joke about how Poltergeist isn't that special. All of America was built on Indian burial grounds. And I was like, yeah, way to get the movie, dummy. That's the whole point. Like, we're all supposed to feel this way. Like the movie is that this could be any house anywhere in America. Like that's the setup, you know? It's the genius of the movie is this could be like any of our houses. You tell him take a message, Sweet Pea. Daddy wants to take a message. Yeah, this is all just adorable family building. How far are we in? There is hour and 33 left. So we're somewhere around the 20 minute and 30 mark. Like I said, Max makes it difficult to tell where I'm at. I can only tell how much is left. Um, so yeah, there's an hour and a half left in this, and we still haven't really had any, you know, scariness hit the fan yet, because we have to build this family. We have to learn to love these people. Too many movies want to jump in with a big scare scene up front and then have you kind of like shook. And then another like 10 minutes later, another dumb scare scene, a jump scare or something, all formulaic and predictable. This is just a sweet family and things go bad. Nice people. Oh, you got to get back to packing for Scarefest, Jamie. It's okay. I'll deputize some people here. I appreciate you for coming by. Um, you're a hero of the community. Your purple heart lights up all the chats. So thank you. I appreciate you dropping by on one of my pop-up late night streams. Yes, and you have safe travels if I don't talk to you before you go to Scarefest. You take lots of pictures and post them. I'm about 3 days behind on Instagram, but I'll get caught up. So by the time you post your pictures, it'll be right in that sweet spot of me trying to get caught up. So yes, indeed. Sweet screams, Lady J. I like that. I mean, you have safe travels, Jamie. And a mushroom just for me. Oh, you go on, you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So here it says 2:37 on their clock on the TV is when the station goes off here. 2:30 is a little, I don't know. I mean, maybe TV went off then. The main channels I remember watching when I was this little went off at like 3 and 4 because that was when the night owls was being formed. I realized it's like I'm awake after everybody else, whether I want to be or not. So I think I was talking about this. There is some debate whether or not this film was actually directed by Tobe Hooper. Tobe Hooper's most famous for doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I believe he did Life Force, maybe. Um, but Steven Spielberg was also, I believe, directing Indiana Jones. Sure. He was directing one of his other big ass hits around this time. So he turned this over to Tobe Hooper. But a lot of people think, since this footage looks nothing like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this looks like a Steven Spielberg movie, that Tobe Hooper was basically a glorified like assistant director or like, just a glorified person in charge, a set producer. And then Spielberg got all the footage he needed and he went in with the editor and this is basically Spielberg's movie just sort of directed. The site manager was Tobe Hooper. But there are other people who are like, nah, Spielberg was so busy that this is all Hooper. Eh. But there are also people who say that Spielberg learned his lesson from this. And when he was shooting Schindler's List and Jurassic Park at the same time, he had someone else direct Jurassic Park and he focused on Schindler's List. And then he did all the editing and everything over Jurassic Park. And sort of took credit for a movie he didn't really direct. So it all is a big ugly circle. Poltergeist. Don't say Poltergeist in front of Mayanne. That poor woman will have a conniption. Oh, she left. That's right. Okay, we're good. You're fine to talk about Poltergeist. Yeah, Mayanne had to watch Poltergeist for a recent watch along. She was learning about the trauma films. Her and Echo Cero. Um, So yes, Poltergeist was the spoof. But even then, when you look at this, a lot of it feels like uh, uh, what's the damn surveillance camera movies? Paranormal Activity. Um, More so even than The Conjuring. Um, the Conjuring is more old house, farmhouse. Like old farmhouses feel creepy on a different level. This is suburban house creepy. Um, yeah, Mikey and Lady J, and then we're all confirming the Trauma. The Trauma is awesome. Yeah, I like Trauma as well. Shout out to Lloyd. Lloyd is a champ to the community. God bless him and his cool coats. Gotta re-cleanse the chat. You know, Lady J, you understand. Every now and then, I gotta make sure that everything is copacetic. You know. So now they're in the kitchen having breakfast. We're seeing Gene Shalit. It's this guy with this big afro and a mustache, white dude. And he was a film reviewer when I was a kid. He was on the morning show. I don't remember which one. I was too young to care. But he was just a big absurd character with a big, huge, ridiculous mustache that looked fake and the big afro. And, he had big opinions and he was just a character. It was, he was ridiculous. A person talking about movies and a big crazy character. I mean, who does that? Am I right? Am I right? All right. Oh shit. Billy, uh, the guy from Commando and 48 Hours, Native American dude, Billy. Billy's his commando name. What the fuck is his name? Mikey'll know. What is his name? Uh, but yeah, he's one of the dudes digging the pool. What is that guy's name? If you remember the name of the guy who was in, um, I keep thinking I'm going to get it. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Every time I start to say it, it's like, there it is. No, I can't remember what the hell that guy's name is. The guy from Commando and the guy from 48 Hours. But yeah, he was one of the pool diggers in the backyard. It's a fun cameo. And the dog is tripping out over something, and the mom's like, "What's your problem?" Sort of the way ahead of its time. Much in the same way that a lot of modern alien sighting lore was inspired by Spielberg and uh, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Like if you look at how many people report seeing a certain type of alien before Close Encounters of the Third Kind and after Close Encounters of the Third Kind, like the Greys, as they're called, like sightings of them go way up after Close Encounters of the Third Kind because it influenced so many people and messed with their heads the same way Jaws messed with their heads. And a lot of ghost story stuff, like where dogs sense it first, or where like Tangina, who's a medium, presumably because she's more connected to the spirit world because of her plight as being a little person or some shit. I don't know. But they basically really what it is, it's some racist magical dwarf shit. They're saying like, look at this little magic tiny person. She's an elf. She's got magic. Like, nah, she's a human being and she's just an interesting character to show up. She has to cleanse this house. It really does break it up though. Like it's a total Yoda is what it is. We're expecting like this big badass to show up and it's this little monster like killer in a tiny package. Sonny Landham, Mikey, that did you hear me say Mikey'll know? Like there's a reason I nominated you for horror YouTuber of the month. By the way, anybody listening to this at this point, go vote for Mikey just for that. Damn it. So now the ghost stuff is really starting to hit. The dog sees something that is weird and nobody can put their finger on. Now the chairs are doing weird stuff in the kitchen. Yeah, Mikey, you nailed it. Yeah, Sonny Landham is the dude digging the pool in the backyard. That's a funny cameo to me. Pap already voted for Mikey's morgue. That a boy. I know the guy who counts the votes. We'll get Mikey an in. So now the dad is it's kind of funny. The joke of this movie is that these suburban houses are all exactly the same. So the dad is selling another home and they cut from his kitchen to the kitchen of the home he's selling. And it's like the exact same room and everything. Like just you just dissolve the furniture out. It's the same thing. Sage. Yeah. Yeah, that's what Russell's burning. Russell burned a lot of sage. You have to cleanse those spirits, Russell. I don't know. Is this impersonation some sort of ist? Am I going to get canceled for this? It feels like somebody somewhere is going to show up and say, I'm from the high pitched voice society and we want you to apologize. I'm going to be like, okay. Clearly fake lightning. That was some Tobe Hooper stuff. I'll blame that on him. And the dad drives the same station wagon as the Griswolds. Somehow not as cheap. The Griswolds one is extra cheap. Russell saying how he loved Sonny Landham in 48 Hours. Me too. That's the main movie I often think of him. He kills it in Commando. Commando is like his main movie that everybody knows him from, but he's extra creepy and scary. Like he if he broke in your house in a home invasion, the dude in 48 Hours, you would be terrified because that guy's insane. Mikey, I'm not even going to read that 48 Hours comment aloud. How dare you? So now the mom is showing the dad like, look at this. The if you set the baby in this circle, she slides across the floor. It's like, oh, and you've been doing that with her all day. Do you think maybe she's going to catch like some sort of weird cancer from it or something? Like, stop doing weird science stuff with the baby, please. There's some sort of magnetic field. Okay, get the baby away from it. Duh. Divoff was the villain in another 48 Hours? I'll acknowledge that statement. I didn't know that. So the chair slides across the room, and now they're going to put the Rams. This is back in the day. This is when the Rams were in LA before they moved to St. Louis, before they moved to LA. And Craig T. Nelson's playing it good. Like his disbelief of like trying to figure out is there strings, what could be the possible excuses of what am I not seeing here? Am I being punked or what? Russell loves the face ripping. That when I told my story about the being a little kid and seeing this, when the face ripping happened, that's the only part I covered my eyes for. And then later on, when I watched this like 55 times over the course of my life on cable, the whenever the chicken scene comes up, I get uncomfortable. This movie's rated PG because they didn't have PG-13 back then, and there's no nudity or swearing, and so it's not an R. So because this movie's rated PG, I always think, how? The chicken scene. The chicken scene is disgusting. That boy's from Airplane Part 2. Yeah, exactly, Lady J. Don't experiment with the baby when I'm at work. You know what I mean? Like, I know life is boring and I know you're high as shit, but could you not like slide the baby 7 or 8 feet across the kitchen floor? I mean, how are you going to explain ass burns in the emergency room? No, I swear it's a poltergeist. We got ghosts in the house. I didn't beat her. You know what I mean? What's wrong with you? What I mean to say is it's time to cleanse this stream once again. I felt as if a negative spirit had come through, and I wanted to make sure that everything in here was back to normal. Russell's a little bit ahead of me, so the toys flying around the bedroom. The dad is shaving or something? He's got like shaving cream all over, and the mom's, I think, putting some calamine lotion on him. Okay, yeah, now so there's the kids in bed with the rain. This this no matter how old you get, when you're when you're in a dark room, no TV on, nothing, just silence, and the rain starts, and then the thunder starts, and it's an ugly thunderstorm, and you kind of worry, but not really because you're inside. But like that's a feeling. This movie captures all the good, like I say, the closet. Why is a closet scary? I don't know. When you're little, it is. Will you check the closet again for the fifth time, please? Under the bed. They know, make under the bed. Because when you're little, under the bed is scary. That's where all criminals break in. They sneak into your house when no one's around, and then they go hide in the smallest child's bedroom under the bed. Now the tree's coming to life and busting through the window. The tree is actively choking the child, and the uh, clown doll is still more scary. Yeah, the closet's banging around. Carol Ann just staring off into the white abyss. All of this, yeah, like that there's some sort of other world that's pulling things in. Like that's classic, haunting stuff. Like, well, the closet is haunted. What do you mean the closet's haunted? No, there's just I don't understand the weird twister. Like there's a straight up, black twister pouring through. We've already got a possessed tree. Like, does the poltergeist affect all nature everywhere? I have poltergeist physics questions. As a child, never worried about it. Russell, you never thought about stuff under the bed or any of that stuff? I had pretty much all that at some point or another. You could grow out of it, obviously, at a certain point. You just, well, I've lived till the age of 9 and nothing's come out of the closet. And as a little kid, I used to always stash all my toys and shit in the closet. So I knew just physically there was no room for nothing in there because there's a toy chest and, whatever in there. But the tree is just straight up swallowing the child actor. I'm assuming all this stuff that's pouring into the closet is all reverse photography. The Carol Ann being sucked into the closet was clearly a doll or a little person. It was kind of comical. I think it was a little person, actually, which makes it even funnier. Okay, we're going to bring in a lady who's 4'2", and then we're going to drop her into a hole shaped like a closet and hope she doesn't break her legs. Wow, that's totally Evil Dead right there. I never noticed. Yeah, that shot with the big tornado I was bitching about. There's like a vortex and the tree goes up, and it was totally Evil Dead. Heh. Cleanse this movie of having Evil Dead stuff in it. The vortex of evil. Exactly. I know her. Vortex of pain. I know her too. She's actually a better time. So I was losing my wig. So they're worried they've lost the baby. They dig out of the closet, and it's the damn clown. Klaatu Barata Nikto. Good comic relief with a little tic-tacky walking robot. Yeah, I love this. Even now, just looking at it, seeing like the way movies were shot. This era, like the 80s, it's pretty much universal. Everybody thinks the era they were a child in is like the best era for filmmaking because you're a child and what you learn when you don't know nothing is always more impressive. So I'm convinced the 80s were a fantastic era for film. There's other people who say the 80s were like the worst time for film. So, because I'm a kid of the 80s, I love them. But before digital photography and stuff starts showing up in the 90s, this is like the height of practical effects. This is the height of how to treat film with all the chemicals and everything. Because starting going into the late 90s and the 1000s, everything goes digital and you do stuff on computers and you color correct with computers and filters and LUTs and all that. This is all, no, we got to soak it in the nitrate a little bit longer, or we got to put whatever amount of ammonia in there to make the green pop, or however the hell they do that. So they just understood what type of film, how to make it look the same way people love vinyl. Like that's how I feel about like 1980s film. Like once it goes to digital, it gets a little too crisp. It's not as warm and it doesn't feel as smooth. It's this feels like vanilla. It looks just the right color timing. And so now the kids talking to the TV and everybody's just like freaking out. Well, first they went and jumped in the pool because they thought she was in there. And that's brilliant because that'd be the first thing you would think. The child is missing. Where the hell is the kid? Oh no, that damn pool. So, all this just is so real for a movie that's fantastical. That's one of the reasons I love it. That's one of the reasons I really liked the first Conjuring, is it had a lot that felt real-ish. Some of the stuff where ghosts actually are up in your face and doing stuff is but so now Carol Ann's talking to her through the TV. Cleanse this chat, Lady J. Thank you. I see you are going through with a candle and cleansing it. Make sure everybody hits the like button. That helps cleanse away the evil spirits as well. Share, share with everyone you know. The dude who peels his face off, the chicken guy, I thought it when I was a kid. I think it now. I'm pretty sure he's James Woods' stunt double. And this other dude is totally Billy D. Williams. But this is a good, like, I like the paranormal investigators. Like the same way the Ghostbusters are silly. They're like three SNL dudes. This looks like some real people. Like she looks like a college professor. The nerdy guy who looks like James Woods, he feels like a dude who would work in a lab at a college. My man, a cool black dude, Billy D. Williams. It's how'd you get mixed up with them? I don't know, but it feels right. The button keeps the poltergeist away. Exactly. Bless this stream with your positive intentions. Ah, the 80s, when you could just afford a ballin' ass house like that. Now you'd have to be like a CEO and a drug dealer to afford that house. Oh, you got one of those McMansions out of the old Indian burial ground, huh? Great. How they got Craig T. Nelson, like his eyes are all bloodshot and he's drinking a beer in the afternoon. Like, this is all awesome. Such good stuff. Like, the movie without the horror is a funny enough, entertaining movie. It's damn near like Mr. Mom or something. But then just the horror to these people that I don't want horror happening to is just, it's extra scurry. Billy D. Williams in Fear City? I believe so. I get Fear City and Alphabet City confused. I believe. Yeah, this is classic. Yeah, just how when Ed and Lorraine Warren tell their ghost stories and you read like their accounts, this is like a classic. So there's one room that's haunted, and you go to that room and you open it up, and it's just like freezing cold. It's basically The Exorcist, is what this is. Like they have a normal house with normal people, even though their lives in shambles. Then you go to that one room and open it up, and it's like, oh my, what do you got going on in this room? And the paranormal investigator lady is literally shook. Things you don't want to do with a beer. The or the Munster Fest, but it's Munster with a U, like the cheese, because it's supposed to be like an Oktoberfest German thing. Um, these are 7.5% alcohol, so a good two of these will make me very entertaining, probably by the very end of this stream, I imagine. Yeah, totally James Woods stunt double. Thank you, Lady J, for sharing. It's weird. That's one of the only things I never ask people to do. I'm like, hey, like and subscribe, and make sure you come back. If you see me floating around, say hi. I never tell people they share. I don't feel like, hey, you got to check out my guy. But then again, the other day, Lady J, you shared your friends at the drive-in with me, and I went over there and watched them for a little bit, and you were totally right. I like them, and I ended up subscribing to them and hung out in the chat for a little bit. I didn't say nothing to anybody. I just watched and stuff. It's a cool place. So your whole sharing friends and things works. I just mentioned Mikey and Mayanne been getting all sorts of people paying attention to them because of shouting them out. The love is real. But anyways, I thank you. You're awesome. He's convinced Corey Feldman is Grandpa Munster, and no one can make him think otherwise. Russell's 74 minutes in. Let's see where I'm in. It's always an adventure. Yeah, I'm at 47 minutes in, roughly. I don't know. Like I said, you have to scroll over the top of the mouse to see where you're at. I got a minute and 6:15 left. 12, 11, 10. That's so weird that Max does that. They know I'm trying to help them and they're undermining. Let me help you, Max. Help me help you. Yeah, I can see how people don't think Tobe Hooper didn't direct this. But then, like I said, I think he did Life Force, and that looks kind of like this. I don't know. Echo Cero. And since someone new has come to the chat, we want to welcome you and bless this stream and keep it free from evil spits. Try explaining this one, Echo. It's like, yeah, one time I checked in and Don was dressed like the little person from Poltergeist. I beg your pardon. Toby is a silly name. You know what's funny, Mikey? The first time I ever heard Toby's name and ever thought about it was in this movie, Summer School, with Mark Harmon. And there's these two horror-loving dudes, Chainsaw and Dave. And Chainsaw and Dave are cool as hell. And they do a class report on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they like show it, and like one of the dudes runs in dressed like Leatherface, and in there, dude calls him Tobe Hooper, like it's a French whatever. So to this day, my brain says Tobe Hooper, and then I have to backtrack and go Tobe Hooper. I have to remember he's from Texas. He Tobe Hooper. Tobe Hooper down there, down the street. Mikey loves that movie. Yeah, exactly. You know Chainsaw and Dave. So now stuff is falling through the hole in the ceiling. I could have pulled off that outfit, the black t-shirt and the cardigan. Shit. All right. So next year when I do Poltergeist, note to self, dress as the dad or the cool Billy D. Williams guy in blackface. Mommy, please help me. Dave kept picking C for the test answers. Yep, exactly. That's what you got to do. Dave showed up to take his driver's test with a little bit of alcohol on his breath to take the edge off. So now the upstairs is blowing the wind back. Russell remembers summer school. That's a cult classic, dude. That's one of those where not a lot of people like it, but the people who do like it will love it. My buddy Gareth and I were talking about from Video Tasties. Shout out to Video Tasties. Pugwall, thank you for dropping by. I'm glad you're here to let me bless you this stream. We have to cleanse it. I've been gone for 2 weeks and many evil spirits have taken over this stream, Pugwall. So thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Good timing. Pugwall is a known collaborator with the aforementioned Video Tasties, Gareth. Gareth and I were talking about moving violations with the weird Bill Murray's brother. Bill Murray has like 4 brothers, all who act, and the one who's been in the least amount of stuff starred in moving violations. Lady J, thank you for helping to get rid of cleanse this stream. Oh, that big console TV. My parents had that exact same one. I think it's a Zenith. But yeah, the same silver plastic. Yeah, I remember all that. 52 minutes left for Russell. I got yeah, I'm somewhere around there. Yeah, I'm somewhere around 53 minutes as well. They're uh they're all in the living room and the James Woods dudes is saying, I just got bit. And they're like, you got bit? And then there's like a weird shark bite in his side. I think that's why they got somebody who looks like James Woods. They're like, y'all ever see Videodrome? Like my buddy looks just like James Woods. Well, get him in here, man. Yes, Pugwall, welcome. We love Pugwall. Pugwall and Nate and Lady J. These people are like Mayanne. I know some of like the most kindest energy people in the world. Like they drop by and they're just like, oh, things just got happier. They're here with their bright, loving nature. Like it's I don't ever have anybody like, oh, they're here to ruin it. It's like, no, who's the next person gonna drop by who's like cool as hell? Now it's Pugwall. So thank you, Matt. I totally forgive you for that whole Friday the 13th stream I got looped into. I'm kidding. I enjoyed the hell out of that. Be sure to go to Video Tasty's channel and check out his Friday the 13th live stream where the 3 Jasons watch Friday the 13th part 1 for the first time. It's riveting. Vincent Price would for sure have cleansed this stream. I agree. Yeah, every time I look at that dude, I'm like, are you guys sure this isn't James Woods? Are you, sir, sure you are not James Woods? Long live the new flesh. Exactly. Videodrome. That's a crazy movie. That movie didn't scare me when I was a kid, but I knew it was just so gross. I didn't think I wanted to watch it. Like I was cool with the thing. Like The Thing as a little kid intrigued me and kind of like I wanted to see the gross, gory, whatever. But Videodrome, other than the gun hand thing pushing through the TV, the rest of it was real. You get a slap a hand hard. You get a slap a hand hard. You get a slap a hand hard. This whole place has been cleansed with slap a hand hearts. Um, other than the gun scene, the rest of that movie, Videodrome, just looked gross to me. Like just people lifting up their shirts and all this stuff going on in their bodies. And oh, Jesus. Yeah, that one I couldn't watch till I was like older teens. And at that point, Debbie Harry hit just right. She was like a fine wine. One way or another, she's going to get me. You're forgiven for an hour or so. Yes, you are, Pugwell. Mad, I can't stay mad at you. You look too much like David Beckham to be mad at you. Oh, Lady J. Ghoul. Lady J's been keeping my chat cleansed. I appreciate it. The spirits have been taken away. She's still not here. I thought Tangina was here for a while. She shows up, I guess, towards the end. That's kind of the surprise. Like, we hear they're going to have to call in a specialist, and then she shows up like friggin' Ricky Vaughn in Major League. The doors open, a little tiny person comes walking out. Throw him the heater, Tangina. That's a mashup nobody ever thought of. The medium from Poltergeist and the relief pitcher from Major League. Adult Swim, call me. Multivitamins for the chat. Thank you, Matt. Or Pap. Too many multivitamins for Don. Look at that lighting. Wow. Very rarely am I impressed by cinematography, but they have sculpted the light to bend around her face like so perfectly where you can see like it's almost vignetting with just a spotlight. It's pretty damn awesome. Like sometimes I notice eye light in a movie. This has eye light too. I can see it. There's a bright white dot in the top of each one of her eyes. Generally, that's a dude standing or a lady standing off screen with a friggin' flashlight just to achieve the white dot in each eye. You just shine a bright ass flashlight in somebody's eyes. Um, this, like her face in half shadow, like that. Um, they did that a lot in like 50s and you know, we were talking about Vincent Price earlier. That's totally a Vincent Price movie move. So this is just all some sort of exposition about people who get lost and trapped and what the, you know, where ghosts come from and all that. So it's kind of a good just downtime. And she explains how, you know, at school, some of the kids are cool and some of the kids are mean. Well, that's how the ghosts are. Just sometimes jerk ghosts come along and they cause problems. They don't go off peacefully. Matt says that David Cronenberg was the filmmaker that freaked him out the most as a kid. Um, I don't know. Yes, um, maybe because I really loved The Dead Zone as a kid. Like even then, that subversive ass movie that's just so awesome. I love it now. It's one of my faves. But the other stuff like Rabid and all that, I don't think I knew about that till I was older. You know, I think I probably knew the porn star lady before I knew what Rabid was. Like, oh, the behind the green door lady or whatever the hell Marilyn Chambers was in. Mm-hmm. Nice push in from outside. I had a friend as a kid who lived in a house that looked just like this. So any of these slow push ups to the house, I always think reminds me of my buddy Jeff's house as a kid. I like that the dad is sleeping on the couch, just like that's a good touch. It's a desperation. He doesn't want to be, it's like waiting for the baby to show up, you know? It's like, I'm not going to miss it. I got to be here when the kid comes back. If I left, I would feel like an ass. Russell says Rabid, Shivers, The Brood. I'm sure I saw Shivers. Which one is Shivers? Drawing a blank on that one. Yeah, here comes the maggot scene. Well, I like that's kind of what this dude gets. All right, you're trying to save the baby who's trapped in the spirit world, and you're gonna raid the fridge. Like, make yourself at home, dude. Whatever, dick. Um, all right, did I miss anybody? No, I think I got you guys blued up right there. There you go, Blue World Order, kids. Oh, I'm in the process of relocating. So my usual chair that's cozy that I rock it and all that is over being moved. So I'm using an office chair. So if you see me like kind of adjusting my butt, it's like this one needs a pillow in it. I love that they told him keep the chicken in your mouth, and then this whole bit with the steak crawling on the. Oh, that's all. How is this PG? This is disgusting. I want to puke now. So the steak crawls along the tile, and then it explodes and is disgusting. And then the dude drops the chicken he had stolen and is full of maggots. And now he goes in here and he starts ripping off his face. How is this PG? I'm going to write the board back then and complain. I'm going to build a time travel to be a nagging Karen from 1981. I shouldn't have said Karen. I hate that term. That pisses me off because that's so unfair to cool Karens. I know a bunch of them. Okay, admittedly, the part where he tears off the face looked like crap then and it looks like crap now. It's fun. It looks like some creep show stuff, but it doesn't look real. Mikey says Jaws, Poltergeist, Gremlins, Night of the Tarantulas. All PG. Absurd. I was uncomfortable because the whole lady underwear. You understood, Pogwall? For those of you who weren't here earlier, I don't, as you could probably guess, I don't own a muumuu. She wears like I don't know, a caftan. Is that what they're called? Is that a real word? Did I make that up on the spot? She wears like flowing robes, like she's a Dalai Lama or some shit, or lots of like flowered Hawaiian shirts. And I don't own anything like that, so I had to I have to bust out the Stan Lee hoodie. I was like, that's the closest thing I got. And then this is the same wig that Don Zombie wears. Yeah. So when anybody asks how I have all these costumes laying around, it's like because it's all my real clothes being reused over and over again. EKG equals science. Like there's no sense to him just sitting there with a thing making lines, but it's like, oh yeah, he's doing science stuff. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Excelsior, I should say. In the back of my Dragula. That's my favorite part about that whole bit is when I said drag y'all asses down to the new. I was like, as soon as I said that, I even had trouble keeping a straight face. I was like, that's good. That's good, terrible wordplay right there. Well, you're very welcome, Lady J. Like I say, you and Matt and Pap, all of you, Russell too, you're all like, you know, YouTube is notorious for jerks. Like that's what people think. Like the YouTube comment section and YouTube commenters are like the worst people on earth. So to get cool people in my life, it's like, oh no, whatever, hang out, please. I dig the 1980s special effects. This is just some sort of weird overlay. Um, Probably just did like some sort of light into a fog kind of thing. I dig the shadows. That's an underrated aspect of this shot. There's a weird ghost at the top of the steps. Look at me, all everybody in the movie is like shocked and staring at it, and I am too. I'm like, huh? Yeah, I forgot about this scene where you see like a visualized specter. Like there's, it looks like the damn librarian in Ghostbusters is what it looks like. Yeah, Dragula's from the Munsters. Russell, that's the. Yeah, this is all decent special effects for '82. I like this. The lighting, once again, so good. Like just edges of faces. Like it feels like the middle of the night, you know? It's one step away from Bubba Hotep. I already got that covered too. Thank you, like very much. No, these I had to rob Jackie O for. I was saying earlier, I look like the dude that crashes on Jason Momoa's couch. Like, hey, my buddy Don's in the kitchen. Go give him that. Let him hit that joint. Oh, thanks, man. I thank all of you, the 10 of you here hanging out right now. I appreciate that. Always cool people here. Please hit the like button. Please check out the other folks in the chat and say hi to them. Check out their channels. Check out my channel. Check out your own channel. Let's everybody help everybody, including helping yourself. I love the little kid angrily going to the taxi cab and throwing his suitcase in there, pissed at his parents. I forgot about this scene too. This is wonderful. Because you got to send the kid away. You're not going to leave him in a damn haunted house. So you send the kid and the dog away to grandma's house or whatever. And he's pissed. There's another awesome scene in this that I still remember, the most real scene in any horror movie ever, where they have this whole issue with the TV, and then they eventually get the girl back, and they go to and stay in a hotel, and then they show like the outside of the motel or whatever, and you see him put the TV outside. Like, man, fuck this TV. This chat has been cleansed, Lady J. I thank you for all of your work keeping everything clean from evil spirits. Also shot real tight, wide lens. What do you call it? Panavision. Cinemascope. That's the word I was looking for. I always like it. That tighter, wide screen. It just is I don't know. It's the slit of the eyes. It's just that much. It looks cool. I think I like it because of John Carpenter and Hype Williams. In the 1990s, Hype Williams made the damn letterbox like prestige matting, I should say. He did. Paul Bearer for the alternate from that role. It is the guy from the Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2. I couldn't think of his name. And then yeah, the lights are like interfering with their conversations, and he's like just trying to play it off. Like what? I like the part how normally in movies when the monster is defeated and you accomplish your goal, if there's any movie left after that, I get annoyed. Like, okay, movie's over, wrap it up. This movie is one of the only ones where once they get Carol Ann back, there's like a little epilogue to the movie that like wraps it all up. You know, like I said, they go to a hotel and all that shit. So this is one of the few times where it feels like a roller coaster of a movie. Like even after they get her back, there's more to it. Some electrical problems as well. Exactly. Oh, James Karen. Thank you. Duh. I missed it, Mikey. You knew. As I mentioned Karens earlier. Yeah, see that. Is that what you mentioned him from when I mentioned there were a lot of cool Karens? Did you bring up James Karen? So yeah, the evil room is still evil. I like how she just kind of cracks the door to make sure. Yep, still evil in there. This hits home real hard to me. This is like kind of the area I live. Like there's always new subdivisions sprouting up. So sometimes you'll drive by what used to be a farm field and you'll be like, there's a road that goes down there now? What the hell? And you'll just kind of bang a right and you'll be like, there are 40 new homes back here. What the hell? Um, Speaking of this, actually, there was this in my hometown, Poltergeist. It's this subdivision called Whitecaps in Kenosha, Wisconsin. There's all these old turn of the century, late 1800s and 1700s burial grounds out like on the outskirts of town. And they started spreading out town away from the lake. And they put in all these subdivision homes that are like this, where they all are like big homes, but they all look kind of nice. But they're all the same home. There's like three models, and there's one or two little tiny graveyards that they kept intact, like maybe the plot of a house. And they're kind of out away from where the houses are. But when they dug up those houses, there's all sorts of stories of bones and things, just because back in the day, they either didn't mark the graves properly or the graves are so old, the tombstones or markings are gone. So yeah, they found all sorts of old whomever, natives or settlers. Wisconsin was settled by the French like back in the early 1800s, so there's no telling who's living there. But it looked just like this. It had the little old school white picket fence that was like waist high around these old like, see, it's safe. Oh, Russell, you weren't sub to Lady J before? No, yeah, she's great. I met her through Sean's chat, Blue Digital, and um, her and Pap are always awesome. I believe I met Pap through Echo Cero. Echo Cero. And I'm just entranced by the plots. This is all just, it looks very real. Like my cousin lives in a subdivision like this. I think she moved now, but yeah, just one of them deals where 5 years ago there was nothing there. Well, 10 years ago there was nothing there, and then just one day you turn and there's like a whole bunch of houses, and then later on you go back there and like, this is huge back here. What happened? Well, we dug up a bunch of Indian bodies, and then we cleansed this house. Once again, it is important to cleanse this house. So their life has just become like having these Ghostbusters hang out and film their little horror, whatever, their little paranormal movies. Oh crap! Here's Tangina. Finally, I've been waiting for her to show up. Now that I see her, I kind of nailed it. Yeah, thank you for coming. You got here at just the right time. There is 1:15 into Poltergeist, and Tangina has arrived to cleanse his house. But thank you, Gareth, for coming. I'd already bitched you out thoroughly for your Friday the 13th stream, so I'm ready to let bygones be bygones at this point. So now Tangina's just stomping around the house. Yeah, I'm convinced this is a Yoda thing. Like they wanted to build up this all-powerful ass kicker who was going to come in and take care of these ghosts, and it's like this, you know, a big thing in a small package kind of thing, you know. So now I'm just entranced. Tangina, she's got star power. Zelda Rubinstein, I believe is her name. When I was talking earlier about the Poltergeist curse, she's one of the people they lump into the Poltergeist curse. They often think she died way before she did. She didn't. She lived well beyond these other movies. I think she might have even passed away during the third one or something, but it was just natural causes. She was an older woman. Gareth says I'm dressed like Ace Ventura. So if you have any other thoughts, please sure to put them in the chat below. So far, I've gone with, as you can see, Gareth, I'm in charge of cleansing this house of evil spirits. Come here, honey, and give me your hand. I'm not going to bite you. As you can see, I am a famous medium, Zelda Rubinstein. Because who else are you going to be from this movie? Like, the skeletons in the pool was my next option. I thought about doing the cool Billy D. Williams black dude in blackface, but I'm already pushing the boundaries of getting in trouble on this channel way too much. This mom will hug anybody. She broke down earlier and hugged the lead Ghostbuster lady, and now she's known Tangina for like 4.5 seconds, and they're already hugging. This whole Carol Ann never existed. This is all a ruse to get hugs. It's just my life is a shamble. If I could hug a little person, I would feel so much better. And the more I say it out loud, the more it makes perfect sense. Now Garrett says Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello! Earlier, Gareth, I'll say, now I lost the accent. I was being Russell Brand, but once again, in my many attempts to get canceled on here. Right, I'm Russell Brand. Why is dude dressed like a sailor? Like, you got longshore seaman duty after this? Craig T. Nelson got more mascara on than Robert Smith of The Cure. In their spiritual earthbound plane, they're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Whoa. All right. She's a child, Zelda. Something they desperately desire but can't have anymore. Look at this big ass 80s Betamax. Oh, wait a minute. I'm off script. Right now, she's the closest, and that is terrible distraction from the real life that has come for them. Do you understand me? No, not at all. That was a bunch of total gibberish. I have a feel like you're going to ask me for a donation in a second. They're not aware she hasn't passed on. They're not part of the consciousness as we know it. They linger in a perpetual dream state, a nightmare from which they cannot wake. I called it high school. Oh, a window to the next plane. They do let her yammer on. Sheesh. They must pass through where the friends are waiting to guide them to new destinies. Carol Ann must help them cross over, or she will only hear her mother's voice. Sometimes they put Tangina's voice in quotes, and other times they don't. Oh, I guess it's when she's off screen. That's a weird captioning trick. You're throwing me off with your captioning, Poltergeist. Damn. There's only one more thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to get out of character there. Knew y'all were trying to. A terrible presence is in there with her. So much rage, so much betrayal. I've never sensed anything like it. I don't know what hovers over this house, but it was strong enough to punch a hole into this world and take your daughter away from you. Now I'm just doing the movie. Max is going to send me a letter. It keeps Carol Ann very close to it, away from the spectral light. So we're just going to bring in Tangina and let her ramble on for a good 3 minutes and not say much of anything. I mean, me too, usually. Cheers. But hey, look, we got a fun little person. Okay, let her have the stage for 3 minutes. That'll chew up time. Now it's Big Mama's house. Thank you. No, I'm clearly Marlon Brando in uh, Dr. Moreau. So whoever came up with this tennis balls thing, their game is on point. All right, we're going to write stuff on tennis balls and we're going to throw it into the closet. And if it drops into the living room, we have a. Wow, Daryl, you're on some shit. Cleanse this chat right quick. Is she Southern? It feels like she's Southern. That's the way I do the accent. I like when she gets stern. This is my favorite part. Like at first she shows up and she's all like sweet and loving and she's like giving everybody hugs and she's explaining like the nature of the universe and shit. And then she goes to the closet and she gets stern-lipped and she's like, Carol Ann, you listen to me, you little bastard. You get your ass out that closet. You come in here, you go find me a switch. Zelda, Dave Chappelle, and Oprah. Wow, yeah, that's a lot. Thief with James Caan and Jim Belushi. Oh, Thief is good. I recommend Thief. Be angry with her. You never see her again. Tell her she's going to get a spanking. All this is good. I like this because it really kind of doesn't make sense. It's all stolen from that old Twilight Zone episode, the one where the little girl disappears into her own bedroom wall. But it's good stuff. You know what I mean? It makes the engine of the story flow. Like there's a reason to bring all these characters together. It's like, well, the house swallowed the little girl. Tell her go to the light. They'll follow her. They followed her for weeks. Now tell her, do as I say. I think what I'm doing is Medea. I think that's what I am. Tell her it's before it's too late. Yeah, Saint Perfect Mom is really trying her best to be angry, but she just can't be mean because she's just too good of a loving mom. Don't give it any help. It knows too much already. Look at her. She's serious, just like pissed at these people. I'm tired of this buffoonery. I want this baby out of that closet now. That's what I need. She's an angry little person to just show up. By God, Carol Ann, I ain't taking no more BS. Come out of that closet. Now, this is just fantastic. They've taken two strobe lights and a fog machine, and they're shooting it through a door, and it looks like we've unearthed hell. Like, I don't know. People just are smart. they've spent so long making movies, they've just figured out how to make the simplest things look so cool. Remember Night Gallery of Rod Serling? Hell yeah, I love me some Rod Serling. I prefer original Twilight Zone better, at least the first couple seasons before they switched to video. And then I liked Night Gallery. This is hilarious. She walks up and just throws out these first pitches into the. Wow, the big yellow blast. I forgot it does that when she throws the tennis ball in, and then it comes out covered in that weird, like, ethereal goo, which is all way ahead of Ghostbusters. So, yeah, once again, it just sets the template. Like, this is kind of the same way I was saying Close Encounters makes all the alien reportings are all the same after that. That's how all the hauntings are after this. Everything we know about ghosts is just encapsulated in here. You need no other information than what you get from this and Ghostbusters. Amazing Stories was awesome. I do love me some Amazing Stories. I like any anthology stuff because a lot of times a good premise is all a story is. Like, they don't have an ending or they don't have a full-fledged round out story, but somebody will come up with a good idea, and that's a short story. So if you get like 10 good ideas, you make a season of an anthology story, or 3 good ideas and make an anthology movie. Mikey's Morgue doesn't like anthology or Amazing Stories. The original Amazing Stories had some awesome ones in it. They've rebooted it so many times, though. Same with Twilight Zone. There's been so many. I never saw any of the Amazing Stories that were on, what is it, Apple or wherever they were. I have wig hairs in my face. I feel them. Russell's watching all the Planet of the Apes, the originals. Those are the bomb. I love those with Roddy McDowell and all them. Yeah, a lot of these graphics are kind of, the light is good, but then the overlays, like whenever they do the bright orange, like power zaps or whatever you want to call it, it looks cheap. Ghostbusters ran into that problem too. They would have a good effect that they laid a cheap effect over. So it'd be like 80% of this shot is cool. Oh, the baby comment. So now this whole thing where they're going to tie a rope around the waist and have her go into the light and pull her back. I don't know about all that. That we would need to sit down and have a talk about that before this went down. I mean, I miss the baby too, but I don't want to lose both of us, right? And this is all very sweet. The mom's going to go after the kid and it's kind of Jaws-ish or something. And they're having this like, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you too. Please don't get sucked into the afterlife. I want to know what that bloody ass slime is in between here. I mean, I know it's supposed to be ectoplasm or something, but it looks like innards. Like, it looks like they're pulling somebody through somebody's guts. What the hell? Yeah, the orange overlays look bad, but the regular lighting looks good. Yeah, when they cut to Craig T, his shots are good. Don't use that orange overlay. I'm going to build a time machine and go back and talk to the special effects people. So I'm a man here dressed like a gondola driver. Hey, can you play the accordion real quick? Um, so there, Tangina, she's been on the job for like 5 minutes and she already has like a gray streak in her hair and cool use of shadow there. That's awesome. How they have her with the back against the wall and you can see Craig T's shadow with the lights and yeah, that's a cool shot you wouldn't see in a lot of modern movies. I'm frequently entranced by the photography. That's why I question about this whole director debate, whether Spielberg or Hooper did it. A lot of it feels like a Spielberg movie, but then every now and then there's little things like this big skull right there. That feels like Tobe Hooper. Oh my God. So the mom and the kid just fell two stories. Yeah, two stories from the high like 15-foot ceilings to the floor. So the mom has like broken ribs at least. Tangina looks like me leaving the China buffet. Hair all down. It actually kind of did look like Tangina there for a second there. I had it again. Take off these glasses. Yeah, this wins the award for best use of Jello. Like, of all the movies I've seen where people are covered in Jello, most of them German and on Pornhub, but of all of them, this is the best. So now the little girl's rescued. They got her in the tub. They've got washing the goop off. This is all very like birth, like how I said she's covered in guts. I mean, she looks like she's covered in afterbirth. And that's like what this scene is. It's the rebirth. The kid disappeared and the house shot it out of its house vagina. So now they have to wash all this afterbirth off. The parents are sitting in the tub, like caressing, and the Ghostbusters leave them alone. Like this is all like, I don't know, cool imagery. But I love the next scene is them moving. We immediately cut from Carol Ann is rescued to putting boxes on a truck. All right, take it easy. It's been a nice house. See you later. It's a shame we never saw the pool. Little kid's wearing a lampshade on his head. That's he's living my life. I never noticed that line before. Jesus, the mom's like they want us to. Dad wants us to stay on the Holiday Inn out at I-74, and the teenage daughter's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that place." And the mom's like, "What?" And this, even as a kid, this always felt weird. Them moving makes perfect sense, and them being like, "We are not going to be in this house anymore. What am I going to do? Take a nap and wake up and the kid's gone again? Screw that." But the idea that they would let the daughter go out on a date, like it feels like she would be hitting him up to go out on a date. Like that should be part of it. Like, hey, can I go out on a date now? This is all done. Like, no, have some consideration. Your sister was swallowed by the house and she just got back. Can't you have a family night? We're going to play Clue. But anyways, the daughter, the teenager, was she's part of the curse of Poltergeist as well. Actually, let me put on my glasses. I better cleanse this stream before I go on with this story. There we go. I had hair in my eye. The teenage daughter is also part of what they think is the curse of Poltergeist. Um, uh, she was murdered. She was one of the first stalker victims that I'd ever heard about in my life. I mean, obviously, I'm sure that's as old as the hills, but um, she was young and up and coming actress. I I know it was involved with the dude who was in V, but I don't remember if he was murdered or he was the murderer. But it was basically just straight O.J. Simpson. She broke up with her boyfriend. He stalked her for a while. He waited for her to leave the house. He caught her outside and he stabbed her to death. Like, so she was murdered by her boyfriend around, the movie being a success. So that was between that and Carol Ann and then the made up stories about Zelda Rubinstein dying early. This movie got dubbed as cursed, like it was a haunted movie because of all the evil, scary stuff they talk about in it. Which kind of helps its lore, I feel like. I like that the mom's got the gray streaks. I obviously sympathize. But still, come on, man. The house has done everything it's done and it swallowed up the baby and everything. And you're just going to be like, you know what? Hot bath. No, I'll wait till I'm at the Holiday Inn. Thank you. And the kids are playing in the bedroom with the ghost closet. No, everyone will be in the living room where we can all see each other. There will be no closed doors until we sell this goddamn hellhole. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a dictator about this, but we've already had one kid swallowed by a closet. Lady J likes the gray too. I like it too. It added, especially after all this. Oof, she's gone through it. She's earned it. It's got kind of a sexy Bride of Frankenstein thing too. Quit closing the bedroom door alone with the clown in the evil room. I'm so mad at these kids. You know what? You're asking to get poltergeisted. Get poltergeisted. See if I care. You know what? I've already saved you once. I'm not doing it again. You figure out how to get yourself out of this one, Billy, whatever your name is. It is the kid from Airplane. That's who you were talking about. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the neighbor's chubby cheeked kid who looked like Augustus Gloop. Yeah, this kid is the kid from Airplane. Duh. The one that you ever seen a grown man naked? Do you like gladiator movies? Is this your dog Scraps? Yeah, him. He's all right. 2.5 of these killer beers. Cheers. We're wrapping it up. We got 16 minutes left. So I imagine 16:10. So I imagine probably 6 of that is a good probably 10 of that is probably credits, huh? With all the special effects in this in 1982. Pap thinks Zelda's the hot one. She's uh she's a firebrand. Like when she gets serious, damn it, Nate. I said you get in that bedroom right now. I'll come in there and I'll spank your bottom if you don't do what I say. You know what I mean? Like Zelda gets all firm lipped on you. Go ahead and clip that one too, Matt, along with the other, along with the house vagina. This is I took 2 weeks off and I had to cleanse all the spirits. Cleanse these evil spirits. There are people tuning in. They're like, is this a trans dude or is this like Jason Momoa's failed brother? What am I seeing here? This is an awesome callback. The kid like is asleep and then he sits up and the damn chair from the kitchen is in the bedroom. And that's terrifying and it's nothing but a piece of furniture. But we know the chairs move around and there's that evil ass clown. Is this clown scarier than it? Like there's some people who would say this is scarier than Tim Curry's Pennywise. It's close. It's a jump ball. It's a 50-50 ball for sure. And look at her. Well, Now that this haunting thing's done and my kids are back, I might as well just try to be sexy as hell. No. Why don't you try putting on some pants and you can relax when you get out to the Holiday Inn on I-94. Hey, girl, what's up? I got joints too. Okay, I'm back. I saw I froze for a second. Now she's doing the up the wall thing. This is very The Entity. She's in the rotating room, the old Breakin' 2 bit where you build the room and it rotates. That's crazy to me, the stuff Hollywood does. It's like, okay, we're going to build a room and we're going to spin it like a damn hamster wheel. And then the actress is just going to keep rolling around on the floor as the room moves around her. But then when we show it on screen, it's going to look like she's climbing the walls. And how much money do you think we have to do that? There's a reason movies cost all these millions. See, evil closet me once, shame on you. Evil closet me twice, shame on me. You knew you had an evil closet. You put the kids in the evil closet bedroom. I wash my hands of all of you. This is on you. No wonder you ended up coaching football in Iowa or whatever. Your whole family died. You need to start a whole new life. Now, this ghost, I remember, that totally looks like the same ghost as the ghost in Ghostbusters, the evil librarian. Thank you, Matt. You're awesome. I appreciate you dropping by, buddy. You you always bring the good knowledge from the UK. I appreciate it. Holy shit. So now in the rain. Yeah, I don't understand. Is it just bad timing? The ghosts act up during the rain, or the ghosts apparently seem to have some sort of control over nature? Because there's always rain and tornadoes and stuff showing up. They control the trees. I'm losing my Zelda wig. So they had straight up coffins too? Like, I understand the Indian burial ground, but these people are clearly like 1920s people. Like, that lady looked like she was, like the Great Gatsby's neighbor or whatever. And I like the muddy pool full of skeletons. This is also part of the lore of is this movie haunted and all the scary things. Supposedly these are actual cadaver skeletons, like from a medical school. Some people say that's total BS. I've heard both. I've heard special effects dudes who are like, no, I've built the skeletons for those, and I've heard other people who are like, yeah, it was much cheaper to just get medical school skeletons than it is to actually, rebuild them. The pool is a time portal, Lady J says. So she's trying to get the neighbor who's been like a douche the whole movie to help, and he won't. Surprise! The Titanic came in from there. Yeah, pretty much. I like that, the crazy long shot where she realizes she has to run down to the end of the hallway, but then the hallway does like the Freddy Krueger zoom thing where she feels like she's in this just bizarro dream. And you can actually even kind of see in the floor, it looks like maybe an elevator, like a extender floor. Like you can see gaps in the floor where the room stretched. Telescoped, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Mikey says this pool is a portal too. Boom, chicka, wow, 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 wow. Oh, Yeah, this chair is going to have to be corrected before the next live stream. I feel like I'm sitting on bleachers. Yeah, that weird petri dish monster thing, that's pretty gross. And now a tentacle. Has a tentacle ever been good? Freaky ladies, keep your opinions to yourself. But otherwise, tentacles are up to no good always, right? Like, I understand, like, if you got some sort of fetish, that's your thing. But otherwise, nah. I can't think of a single thing a tentacle's going to do to me that I'm going to be happy about. Lady J loves the tentacle. Hey, that's what I'm saying. They have them at stores. Like, I mean, stores. That's awesome. There's all these lights and all the different windows. I have a neighbor who has like a Halloween setup where he has a bunch of those projectors and there's like a bunch of ghosts in all his windows and stuff. And it looks almost like this, dude. Tentacles. Yeah, see all these lined coffins. That wouldn't be a thing until, yeah, like the late 1800s or something. You know, I don't know. I'm not a coffin expert, but I know in the mid 1800s is when they had them old timey like undertakers, like the old west, and they weren't doing those pretty ass cushioned lined mahogany. You son of a bitch! You moved the cemetery, but you left the bodies, didn't you? I don't know. I got to get out of here and get to Return of the Living Dead. I like the theme, like in this and in Jaws, like that the greed and commerce of the people in the movie are like one of the problems, you know, like Stephen King's whole thing where it's like the real monsters are the people, you know, like greed is an ugly monster that shows up in a lot of these good horror movies. You know, like how many people is it acceptable to die as long as we're still making money? So they've got the whole family, they're boiling out. Oh no, now a body gets shot out onto the hood of the car. Why would the dipshit neighbor, once again, dipshit neighbor? And then here's the daughter who, the stalker victim. I've This is like the iconic scene where she gets out of the car and she screams, "What's happening?" at the house. But it's one of the most false things in the whole movie. That feels fake. Like she would stand in her own driveway yelling at her house. Bitch, you know what's up. Your house was possessed like 3 days ago. Now you're gonna act shocked? Your sister was literally swallowed by a closet and talked to you through the TV. Richard Carron's just playing this great, like just total door. Because that's what you would be too. Like, wow, I don't know. I thought dude was kind of nuts, but get in the fucking car. Exactly. I don't need you standing in the street. That is kind of cool where the house implodes. I don't think I've ever seen that in like any movie or anything ever again, where the thing just folds up into itself. Like that's wild looking. That's and then sucked up into a white light. That's very Evil Dead. But the house imploding into itself, that's some stuff right there. And the pouring down rainstorm. Cuesta Verde, we'll miss you. And then yeah, I love the button. They you know it's all rainy and wet, and they're just like we were all survived, and damn, what a mess. And the little girl's got the face, just like why me, man? And then the Holiday Inn. They're all playing this so good, like they've been through so much, they're all exhausted. The little boy's really hamming it up and doing a great job. good advertisement for the Holiday Inn. You know, if your house is possessed by ghosts, come stay here. Swim in the Holodome or whatever. Oh, these cats are discussing Pink Floyd in the chat. Which, if you think about it, Poltergeist is the Pink Floyd solo jam of horror movies. I don't know. That was a strange connection. There it is. There's a classic scene. They get in the hotel room, and it seems like the movie's about to be over. And he pushes that goddamn TV. No, we're not having any more of this. It's a perfect button because it makes you like, yeah, I would do that same thing too. And it reaffirms that you're riding with the right protagonist. They pulled a miniature attached with strings through a small hole for the house scene. Yeah, I could see that. Because the only other thing I could think what they'd do is if there was some sort of like associate producer, Kathleen Kennedy. Look at you, girl. Um, yeah, otherwise the only thing I could think you would do is some sort of like stop motion something or other. Well, that was Poltergeist. I'm still seeing the credits. So Martin Costello, Richard Lawson, Zelda Rubinstein, James Karen, Dirk Blocker. Yeah, I went to college with him. Um, Lou Perry, location manager Paul Pav, assistant to Mr. Marshall Patty Rumpf, uh, production illustrator Dick Lastly, gaffer Pat Bleimler. Shout out to who gets another shout out? Don Levy. Shout out to you. I drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Well, all right. So that was Poltergeist. I enjoyed it again for the 900th time or however I've seen it. Um, let me see. Where are the peas? Where are the peas? Are they done? Pulse, Prison Break, Project. Oh yeah, never mind. The peas are bottom down corner. That's never mind. I'm gonna track those down. Um, Poltergeist 1, 2, and 3. Like I say, they're one of the only scary trilogies. Like I find all three to be unsettling. Part 2 has the weird preacher, and then um, the good thing about part 2 is they go stay with her sister. Like, they're afraid. So they go, crash somewhere else. Whoever they stay with, I forget. But they stay at somebody else's house, as you would do. That would be a logical sense in this movie. Also, that one has the weird preacher guy who's like the, 19 or late 1800s, like, Walk Among Us from the Anthrax album guy. Like, he's super creepy. And then that one has the scene where the dad gets drunk on tequila and swallows the worm, and then he spits up the worm, and it's like crawling around on the ground. It's basically just like the maggot scene. And then part 3 takes place in Sears Tower, basically. Sears Tower, some big building, I think in Chicago. I don't know if they say what the name there is, but that one's wild too. So I find all three of them unsettling and creepy in their own way. I saw all three in the theater. I like that it stopped after 3. I think it did, didn't it? I mean, I know they made a remake, whatever, how many ever years ago. I never saw that one. I actually heard it wasn't bad. I don't know. I don't think we'll be watching it anytime soon on a stream, but regardless, this is one of my favorite, probably my favorite haunted house movie. I find Amityville Horror to be a bit, it's overrated. Like, I like it. James Brolin's cool, but on the whole, eh. But The Conjuring is good. Um, uh, Beetlejuice. Yeah, I don't know. Favorite haunted house movies? Go ahead and put that in the comments. Otherwise, yeah, thank you for hanging out. It's been a while since I'm doing a stream. Russell, thank you for asking me when I was going to have my next streams going. I appreciate the pressure to get back on the pony. I prefer late night streams, but every now and then life has stuff to do, so I have to do that during daylight hours, which means my schedule gets changed around and I'm not awake during the middle of the night like I want to be, like I prefer, as the world is supposed to be. So, I thank you for joining me, Pap, Lady J, Mikey, always friggin' awesome. Echo was in here. Gareth stopped by. Matt Pugwall, you're awesome. Pugwall's the man. Um, let's see. Earlier, Sean was here. Sean probably had to go to bed. Um, Amityville Horror 2 with Possession with Burt Young. I've never seen that one. I think I've seen Amityville 2, but God, I don't remember it. Russell, there you are. Russell Collier, sir, for sure. Um, yeah, no problem, Lady J. I appreciate you coming by. I always appreciate you. I agree with Sean Blue Digital when he told you to keep making those little shorty horror spooky videos you're making. Those are cool. I like that. The ghosts and stuff. You're cool. So I like you kids. You're fun people. I'm lucky to have you in my life. But otherwise, we'll try to get more of these going on. I'm going to be busy for the next couple of weeks, but I might be able to sneak in some late night streams, and then there'll be a little break after Halloween while I get some things resettled, and then we'll be back up to business as usual going into the holidays, hopefully. So, anyways, you guys are all awesome. Everybody's super cool. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts, people in the future watching this as the replay, if you have any thoughts on the movie, any thoughts on people in the chat, whatever, be sure to say hello. Be sure to follow my friends in the chat. They're all wonderful. And yeah, I've been taking extra long. I'm not used to wrapping these things up. It's been a minute. So, all right, guys. Have a good night. Happy spooky season to you. We'll be in touch very, very soon. Bye bye.